Yas.
And we in the
We
building. And we in the
are.
building. And we in the
Y'all.
building.
You
Don't
see
mess
we in
with
the building
us.
show? You
Don't
see my
mess with
in the
us.
building?
Come
You see
get
my show?
us on Tuesday. Takeover Tuesday. Let it go. And we're about to come in, come through. Second show of the year.
Come on, dip in the note. Come on, dip
It's
in
called
the note.
delirium.
Oh,
Delirium.
excuse me. It was that dip in the note you just did for me. What's up, QT fam? Did y'all miss us? Did you miss me? We missed you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching live or in the replay, drop it in the comments. Make sure you say something so we can say something big to you guys. And we just waiting on Facebook to let the people know we are on, and YouTube to let the people know that we are on. With that being said,
let's go. Let's go.
You
need another one.
Okay.
Let's go.
I know we waiting on StreamYard to let us go so we can do this. We can get our intro going. What is going on with my life? Here we go. Here's the intro. All right, fam. Thank you guys again for tuning in to your favorite Guilty Tuesday pleasure. What it do, King? How you doing?
Thank you for it.
With that being said, thank you first of all for being on. Some people may not know that you all had the celebration homegoing ceremony for your uncle this past weekend. So thank you so much for just girding up to come and join me today. I know we took a break last week and that was needed. I hope you were able to get all that you needed from your break. How are you doing? How's your family doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. God's keeping us strong and we're comforting each other. And thank you for my family and friends who came out to the funeral. Well, not funeral, but the memorial service on Saturday. The love was felt. And I'm glad you all came out and supported us and prayed for us. And thank you so much, Nikki, for your prayers. It helped me get through the day for sure.
Hey.
You went for it. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. But I'm back. I'm back trying to keep my mental space good. Amen.
Amen. Amen. So glad that you're back and still praying for you and your family.
Thank you, Lord.
Absolutely, girl. We have some amazing topics today. But before we get to the topics, we like to talk about our one word that would describe our past week. For us, it would be the past two because we weren't live last week. So what would be your word that would describe your last 2 weeks? Or if you had a fail, it was only epic if you learned your lesson. So what was it? Or both?
I'm going to say grief. I'm going to say that word.
Yeah.
It as an adult, I'm actually having to feel these emotions and deal with them versus just mask it over and just do other things. So, yeah, I think this time around, I've lost someone before that was very close and dear to me, but I was younger. I wasn't an adult out here living independently. You know what I mean? And so, I would say grief. All these emotions that come along with it. My God.
Grief don't come by itself, huh? Grief come with some other feelings.
I'm like, ooh, one moment you're sad, one moment you're happy. One moment you're like, well, God, let me stare out into the abyss. And then you're like, okay, let me get up and go do something. Then you're sleepy, and then you're hungry, then you're extra hungry, and then you don't want to eat. And then, it's every emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emotions
So,
break you sometimes. Remember that song?
honey, honey, taking it back. But yeah, that would be mine. I would say I wouldn't say I had an epic fail, but to mm, combat that word, I would say, um, I'm gonna use your word, overcome. I think this week I really tried to overcome all of the things that prevented me from wanting to do. I still showed up for everything I said I was going to do in regards to memorial service. And I would say it paid off because the love was so rich in the service. It's unexplainable how much love was there. So yeah, I'm gonna say I overcame a lot of things that I felt defeated in, but that day kind of solidified you overcame. You weren't defeated by it. So yeah,
Mm, I love
yeah,
that. I'm glad you said that because I've been thinking about taking the epic fail out and just call the epic lesson. Like, what's your word to describe your
yeah.
week, and what's your lesson? And
Mhm.
originally it started off with calling it that it was a play on words because sometimes we can take a mistake or a failure and it just
Right,
destroys everything. But they're lessons. You know what I'm saying? If
big
you
time.
didn't succeed in it, there's a reason why. But the next time you go to do it, I bet you get it right that time. You have a
Amen.
lot of coming in. Um, Edward
Thank
says
you.
his deepest condolences to you. He truly admires the two of us, the dedication to the Sacred Healing platform. Thank you so much, as I admire your platform as well. My mommy says, hello, Queen. Y'all are strong females. Blessings to you both. Bless you, mommy. My big sister says, hello and happy New Year's, Queens. Girl, I
Mhm.
miss you all. So much fun being back at home. And what's up, King James? He says, love, Sierra, God, strength and comfort for you and your family. And my baby sis sent us some hearts. Anissa says, hello. Hello to the both of you. It is so good, though, to have you back. And, we've been in contact. Of course, we've been talking
Yes,
regardless. Um, I wanted, oh, girl, I wanted to be there, like, for sure I did.
I know.
But I couldn't, and not in the physical. But thank you for allowing me to be there in other ways.
Yes, God. Your
So
love
with
was
that,
felt.
huh?
Hey, your love was felt for sure, and support.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So I'm not gonna do my word of the week this week. I want to briefly share with you guys something that I saw on TikTok. There was this man. He was on a podcast hosted by two other gentlemen, and this guy is like a famous basketball player, right? And they just happened to start kind of digging into who he was and his childhood, and they asked him about his parents, and he was like, no, his father wasn't in his life, but he barely had his mother. And they were like, what does that mean? He said, when we were growing up, my mother was raising me and my brothers by herself, so she worked three jobs. She'd get off
Mhm.
of one job, go to the next job. They basically barely saw her. But you
Right.
could see, as he described it, the torment and the things that he went through, just not having both parents and raising themselves, and probably some of the things that they experienced being home alone. But I want to bring that up because the anguish that this man was in, this black man, this mental health anguish that he was in this moment, it almost broke me down to my knees because I watched it two or three times because I wanted to hear beyond his words. There was so much pain there that he had never talked about. But the man in the podcast was like, no, forget these questions. We're gonna get to the questions. And they actually started showing up for him in that moment because he was like, you know what? I don't even know how much left I got to give to this world. And they're like, what do you mean? They're looking at all he has. And
Right.
he's saying, he said, I got this much left. And he starts to break. And these men say, listen, look, I'm here. I am availing myself to you to know that you are never alone. Y'all, these kings came together for this king in this moment, and you can tell he had never experienced that before. One of them said, the thing about people who are strong or who are always taking care of other people is you never have that one person that comes to give because everyone comes to take. And this man never had anybody to come to give. His father wasn't there. His
Wow.
mom was there the way she could, but wasn't the way that they needed her to be there for them emotionally. I'll say that because big ups to her for working 3 jobs to take care of them. But in his life as an adult, he had never had anybody that was just there for him. Everybody wanted what he had. And in that moment, he had 2 men that were like, forget this podcast. We're not going to let you jump off this cliff. Did you just say you have nothing left, like you about to give up? And these men went in. I mean, they went into bat for him. That did my heart so much good. And why am I bringing all of this up? You never know the people that you talk to, what they're going through. I don't care what they have, what position they hold, and what title they have. You never know. If you can just take a moment to listen, and for men to sit and just listen to each other, and not just listen, but pour into each other. I'm sure that man walked away with something he's never had in his life. But he sat there in that seat, prepared to talk about this glorious life everybody thought he lived. And in that moment, he got to actually be real and raw. So I hope that this inspires us. Forgive the noise. I'm sorry, y'all. All my neighbors at the door. I hope this inspires us to not just check on each other, but genuinely be concerned, genuinely have time to listen. Don't expect and assume and don't think you know. Listen to people, but take the time to ask them, how are they doing? Right? And to see men be vulnerable and open up their hearts to each other and say, you got me. You're never going to be by yourself ever again. You got me. That was everything. That was everything. So I would love to know down in the chat, what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about men dealing with mental health? And Sarah, what do you think about the
I,
story?
I'm so glad you talked about this. I don't know what podcast it was because I don't know what podcast it was. Doesn't matter.
It's something
Uh,
authority, and I had it written down. I don't know where I put it, but go ahead.
okay. But I think that's so refreshing to hear because we always have like it's interesting. I was scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, and I'm like, we have these girl parties, like we have these uh like painting parties. We have all these like little things that we do. But
Yeah,
men, where we can have intimate conversation amongst just women, right? But men usually just don't have time just to talk and listen. They have football, they have games, they have things where they have to be active. And
yeah.
granted, a man would
They
like
got
to
to
be active,
hard. They got to always be strong.
yeah, or in some type of competition. And sometimes it's just good to like sit down and have a conversation with someone and them actually
Yeah.
hear you. And
Hmm.
I can understand why he has so much he was having probably multiple emotions on top of
Oh,
emotions.
God.
First, the
Yes.
emotions about what he's talking about, then secondly, processing what he's feeling, and then doing it in front of a camera, in front of people. Then
Yeah.
these other men are pouring back into him. That's a lot of
Hmm.
emotions
A lot.
to like
A lot.
control or try to interpret at the same time. But it's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing that they were able to like forget this podcast. Let's pour into you. What's going on, bro? Like speak to us,
Yeah.
talk to us. I think in mental health and for men, it's so important for them to have a safe place where they can talk vividly about what they're experiencing and not hide behind masculinity and
Yeah.
try not to show what they're really experiencing or their frustrations because it's very healthy to
Yeah.
express how you feel. Now what you do after you express what you feel is what's important. Are you going to just continue to sit in that or are you going to make changes to progress out of that? And or how are you going to deal with those emotions? Are you going to let them are you going to live out those emotions or are you going to deal with those emotions seriously and see where it takes you? So I love that um, those men on that podcast really allow him to just break basically in front of them and them not let him just break apart but like pick him up like, okay, hey bro, we got you. So that's awesome. I think that's really, really beautiful.
One of them made the statement. He said, and you could tell he was trying not to cry because he really wanted to hold him up. But he was
Mhm.
like, Black men are expected to be strong and carry everything. He said, and black women are expected to be strong and carry everything. And we do, for everything, everybody, every race, every culture. It's crazy. And it's when he said that the man broke even more. It was like his that was definitely his God time. That was his God moment. And you could
Yeah.
tell he had not being able to release like that the way he did. Because when that man said, "Y'all don't understand, I got only this much left." That's a black man saying, "I got this much left." All right, let's
Yeah.
go to the comments. And what
Us
says
black
black?
people. Go ahead. Go
Huh?
ahead. You got it.
Go
You
ahead.
got it. Oh, sorry, I started reading it. Go ahead. I can't even read it
Go
all.
ahead.
You want me to? Us. It says us black men need spaces and places where we can not only man up, but most importantly, open up. I'm grateful to have space for us kings every Friday. It's beyond therapeutic. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, Edward provides a space on Fridays for men to come together and talk. And I mean, I'm not there because it's the men's space, but I hear it's phenomenal. I hear it's phenomenal. It's also vital at some point for you two queens to create such a space because we need queens on a very significant way to get to a deeper healing. We actually, well, I know in my other podcasts I've done that a few times where I had just a panel of kings several times. Your husband was on it too.
Hmm.
It's amazing what comes out when you give them a space to talk. It is amazing what comes out. And we've actually discussed, a time or two, having some of y'all
Hmm.
on. People be like, "I'm down for it" till you ask them to do it. So we're
Uh-huh.
we're availing it. We are availing it, Kings. You want to hit this one?
James says the most dreadful part of men being vulnerable is that we are expected to be strong, and the men and women in the old circle didn't seem to care. Why? Which is why I changed my circle and need to be vulnerable. It's healthy.
I love that. He said the people that he had around him didn't care. And that's a scary, dark, lonely place when you reach out and people don't reach back, or you
Yeah,
ask for help, they don't take it seriously. So
yeah,
let's make sure that we are not those that when somebody reach out, we don't have time or we turn our backs. All
right.
righty, with that said, we ready to get up into these topics.
Hot
We're gonna pick
topic.
up where we left off the last time. I asked the question: what are three personal development tips or practices that you've either recently learned and want to implement or have started implementing for 2024? Sierra, we want y'all to chime down. Three things that you're gonna do to develop yourself personally in this year. All right, want to hear from y'all, kings and queens? Come on, queen.
The first one for me would be study my word more, which is the Bible. Really like study it and know more of the stories and how they apply to my life. The second
Mm,
one would be take an inventory of how I feel week by week,
mm,
sometimes day by day. I think that's super important for me because I think I am such a, if you want to call it, strong person. And I'm like, that was 2 weeks ago. I'm good. That was just last week. I'm good. And it was like, no, are you really good? Are you sure? You sure? So I think I'm gonna do that for sure. And I'm saying this out loud. I'm like, it just literally just came to me. I'm like, what am I gonna do? But that would be really helpful for me,
mm.
um, to help me develop into the person that I desire to be, um, in where I need to go. I have to be able to do some more personal development in that area. The third thing I want to say is reading a book, or this is slash or, but and journaling. I think I need to do that a little bit more. I kind of started it with my husband. We started to do journaling together,
Mhm.
and it has been very, very interesting. But also, but also very the vulnerable part. Like the things you
Mhm.
don't say, but you say when you have to say it because you're being asked a question. You're like, oh, well, this is how I really feel. And I ain't covering it up. So
Yeah.
when you talk about those things in a couple sense in a marriage, you get to see the person in a different light. Then you just see the surface sometime, I think. You've been married for some time, you just assume certain things and like, nah, that's not how they think, or that's not how they have developed. So I would say for me is the third one would be reading a book, or journaling would be my three. Well,
I love
technically
that.
four, but yeah.
I love that. James Edward is saying kings need to take off the daggum cape and let someone help them when they need assistance. I love that.
I love
I,
that.
has nobody ever said that you have to never ask for help and do it all on your own? But
Amen.
that's been our so here are Edward's three. He's going to be more disciplined in exercising, getting quality rest, and stop being the CEO of CSAH. Okay, wait a minute. I
Cash.
know what is this? No, CSAH. What does
Did he
that
really?
stand for, Edward? I bet when he said I'm gonna be like, duh. I don't know why I can't think of what that stands for now. What does CSAH stand for? All righty. Sherry says peace. So I can she peace so she can study and focus more on the word of God, showing up and out for her. Slow to respond or react to other situations and focus on God, lead her on when and how to act. Come on. That's my big sister. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Now, there's more of y'all
Girl.
watching. So at least give us one. Okay, so one of my biggest ones that I started at the end of 2023 is my grateful alarm that goes off every day at 11:55 a.m. And no matter where I am and who I'm with or talking to, when it goes off, I tell them what the alarm is for, and I give them the opportunity to share. It's amazing what happens when you take a few moments to be intentional. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only time of day that I'm saying thank you to God for something. But the reason I chose 11:55 is I would have been up a few hours at that point. Usually, like that's the end of the morning when stuff begins to pick up, get a little hectic or whatever. That's the moment, best of all, for me to stop and say thank you. And I tell you, it has come in some of the funniest moments, like the moments when I could have almost gotten frustrated. Or I'm coming out of a real hectic meeting and the alarm go off, and it's like stop and be grateful. So that has helped me tremendously. It makes me focus on what's real priority. I
Mhm.
noticed at the turn of this year, certain things that used to be incredibly important to me, they just stopped being. It's like when 2023 left, so did those priorities, right? And you
Mhm.
really prioritize your life, y'all. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. Um, the second thing for me is getting up by a certain time in the morning is super, super important because that's the time when I can go ride my exercise bike. I can either read a book that'll pour into me or read me some scriptures. I'm a Bible. It's time that I can pray. It's time that I can just kind of sit and collect me before the day starts. That has been helping me so much. And I'll say the third one I'll add is just listening to my body. Sometimes my body is telling me no to tell somebody no. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Sometimes mine is saying no, no to that, and I'm just learning to really, really listen to Nikki, and that's been helping me a lot. So, hi Rochelle. Rose says she's gonna write and read the Bible. Come through now. Come through. I love that. Thank you for sharing. So those would be my three. Those are Sierra's three. See, did you have any more that you wanted to add or came to mind?
I love you, the grateful one. I need to do that. I need to do that. It
Okay,
does
well, make
change.
you said it.
It does. It does change your mood quickly,
It
no matter where
does.
you are,
It
no matter what you do.
does.
You're like, oh, let me be grateful. Let me
You know what
think
else
about
it
something.
does? Huh?
You like think about something. I'm breathing. I'm in the car. I'm safe. Okay. I made it to my destination safely this morning. Like you, it really makes you think. It makes you not take things for granted or life for granted. I think you're more grateful.
It's a good
Yeah.
time of reflection too. I am not where I was this time last year. And I can tell
Oh,
you this time I was somewhere crying, my eyes out, because I remember what I was going through at that time. Right? It's those type of things that make you like, so why am I tripping in this moment? Or somebody come along and say or do something, you so grateful for what you not no more. It's like that ain't even
that ain't
anyway.
even, that ain't even me.
Anyway, I'm gonna move
Right.
on. Rochelle
Right.
says the hit me hard. I need to implement that immediately. I react fast. That part, that part. Because baby, the energy you giving and reacting in that way, especially when you have to end up later. Alrighty, my brother made it on. He says, Queens, I promise no comments or statements tonight. Welcome back. He says, welcome back, Queen. See, our thoughts, basically thoughts and prayers are with you. Yeah, our family's been praying for yours. Um,
Thank you so much.
and with your whole family, most high in Christ bless. Thank you for joining us, brother. If you're driving, do not comment. Okay. So we got those done because I know, see, I was like, y'all do it for homework. See, he was like, no, let's do it on the next episode. We did it.
Yes.
Now we're going to your topic. Holla at us now.
Hey! So I was on good old Instagram, and I'm just flipping my finger and flipping my finger. And I saw this little girl doing her little dance, and I was like, with the microphone. But then I said, something said, press, listen to the sound. It was a Sexy Red song. And the little girl was twerking to the song, saying all the words. And all the other kids was doing the same thing. I said, oh God, this is not good. Uh-oh. Hey, husband.
So basically, she was teaching.
She was, no, it was the little girl was singing Sexy Red song, and she was twerking and dropping it like it's hot. And the other little girls around her were doing the same thing. And I guess mommy was recording or daddy was recording it. And so I'm like, so now we doing Sexy Red karaoke with the children for the youth. Is that what we doing now?
Girl, say for you.
And them songs explicit. I'm so sorry. Them songs ain't got no innuendos. They are very explicit to the point, to the what it is. It is what it
It's
is.
busted
It ain't.
wide open. It is
It's
busted wide
busted
open.
wide open. Same thing. And so as soon as I posed this question to you, I was like, wait, Sierra, what songs we had? The one you just did. Busted wide open.
I'm gonna sip my coffee.
Was that target? Wait, but the little girl had to be at least 5, maybe 5, 6,
She
or
looked
7.
like she was no, unless she was real little for her age.
Well,
She
she
was
was
very,
tiny for her age. But yeah, she
yeah.
was singing it, and I mean screaming into her lungs. I mean twerk, twerk, twerk. So I just want to know how y'all feel about this. Like y'all throwing sexy red karaoke parties for your kids, for the youth.
Okay, so let's make a correction because when you posed it, it was Sexy Red Has Karaoke Parties for the kids.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But it was actually parents throwing parties playing Sexy Red songs.
This is right. With the
Yeah.
karaoke. With the karaoke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct the grammar, Lord. Correct the grammar, Jesus. Yes. Karaoke parties with Sexy Red songs on it.
There you go. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna fix this because I don't know Sexy Red. Like, first of all, don't do that.
Don't do that.
So real quick, Keisha did share what her 3. Oh, okay, y'all got these comments coming in on that. Keisha says she's going to be reading more monthly. She was given a book called Stillness is the Key, journaling my thoughts and also what I read and process more before moving or responding too fast. I think all of us are on that. Amen. Love that for sharing. Okay, so William says our songs weren't that much better. Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. So Rochelle says she saw that one. It was a mess. She wanted to know where the father was because if he was there, it it would never ever happen. That's my opinion. But I was young once, but not that young.
She was like too young.
Edward says it's disgusting that parents teach and allow their children to twerk. They should be fined. Ooh, he said put a
Put a
dollar
dollar.
consequence on that thing.
Put a
It
dollar.
wasn't, but we wasn't 7, 8 years old or shaking it like that. So here's the thing, William, and I feel you on that because we had some songs that came out when we were younger that probably had our parents like, I'm sorry, what the words say? We had Uncle Luke. We had Uncle Luke, but here's the thing. When you have social media, where because if somebody was twerking at 5 and 6, you saw it at the party. You didn't see it all over social media. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for it. I'm just saying, let me fix this. Here's my thing about that though. Because Rochelle said if the dad was there, it wouldn't happen. That we hope so.
We
We
hope
would
so
hope so.
because sometimes the culture is if we all like to twerk, then ain't nothing wrong with the girl twerking.
Well, I was gonna say there was this party that went viral. This daddy got, I think it was 4 sons. It may have been 3. I know these babies was age 7 and under, but they had guns. The boys had guns. They had money pulled out. I think every word, but maybe 3 words of the song, the rap song, was cussing. And them little boys, one of them looked like he couldn't even really talk good, but he knew every word of that song. He had the gun up like this while and rapping. And I'm like, wait, huh? Why are we doing that? Why are we teaching our little boys that? I mean, those babies had to have been 7, 6, and 5. I'm gonna say 8, 6, and 5. I don't know, but they were definitely not older than 9 years old. And they had 2 guns, and they had a whole bunch of money out, and there was a bunch of grown men in the background egging it on, and they was rapping with them, and one of them had guns and money in the background. I said, okay, is that what we teaching our little boys? So, what are y'all thoughts on that?
Oh, Jesus. What they saying in the comments?
What is it, Sexy Red? Um,
What they saying?
well, hold on, I'm trying to fix this because we can't have this up here wrong. Um,
Sexy red karaoke parties for kids.
yeah, we can't. Yeah, that's how we had it before. We can't have it up there because it ain't
Okay.
the man.
Karaoke parties with sexy red song
Okay,
for the kids.
he says, so then us educators wouldn't be allowed to call home to say they sing it in the classroom. We're not doing you right now, William. He says, hold up, Nikki, that Freak Nick documentary supposed to be coming out soon. Freak Nick? Okay. But when Freak Nick was going on, I was a straight up teenager. Nobody that I knew was in Freak Nick at the age of 4 and 5. Could have been. It
Could have
could have
been.
very
Could have
it could have
been.
very
Could have been.
we to see some VHS quality.
About to be bad.
Oh, okay. You want to hit this one?
Yeah. I have a 12-year-old daughter and she does not listen to her. If she did, her dad and siblings would get on her fast. My oldest daughter listens to her and I cringe.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Somebody, I don't know, somebody think that's cute. Somebody thinks that's cute. The crazy thing is I don't think we as parents are thinking about people that have perverted minds that are
Right.
watching these little girls pop it, busting wide open, twerking, and they're getting
Right.
turned by that. They're
Yeah.
getting turned on by that.
Yeah. It's bad. It's really, really bad. And that's the thing is you're recording this and you're putting it on social media and now it's everywhere. And it's nothing's private anymore, is it? Okay.
Is that about privacy or is that about decency? That's a good question.
Decency.
Do y'all think it's privacy or decency, fam? Chime in. You say decency, why?
Because just like you said, back in the day, you had the music playing back in the day, and you were like, go, go, to the little kids, but not twerking. Like this kind of dancing, but not like pop, 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 and then bring it around and look back at it. We wasn't talking about all that. We wasn't doing all that. You know, we wasn't doing all that. You know what I'm saying?
Not
We was like, hey, little cute little dances, not popping like his eye, driving like no. You know, even a little what's a little.
So do y'all remember when the lyrics would rock the boat?
Yes, yes.
So let me just say, one of my nieces, I ain't gonna say which one because I don't want none of them killing me. One of my nieces was dancing, talking about rock the boat. And I want to say she was very, very young, but she still talked like rock the boat, walk the boat. And I almost heard her. I almost heard her. You can't even talk, and you talking about rock the boat. And what does rock the boat mean? Because I was real big on that with kids. Tell me what the lyrics mean that you're singing, because they don't know. They just singing it because it's.
They just say rock the boat, right? Rock the boat.
But she was saying what it meant. I tried to hurt her. I bet not never hear you sing no rock the boat. You hear me?
Bet not never. I bet not
bet
never.
Not never.
I bet not never.
We need some aunties. We need some aunties and some grandmothers. I want to say thank goodness the internet and social media were not in how to me when I was in my 20s. Baby, listen.
Baby, listen.
What somebody say? I saw somebody put man, I miss MySpace. Because MySpace, you couldn't do all of this.
No.
Both. Okay, so Lynn says this: privacy and decency. What you allow in your house or family is no one's business. But what is the lesson being taught? Stop, Nikki Johnson. Well, sissy, she was. I tried to put my hands all up on her. I learned what rock the boat meant 2 years ago. Rochelle said, I just learned. I just learned. Yes, she was talking about rocking the boat, child. All right, you want to hit this one?
Sadly, I see too much of it now. Parents don't want to parent. I think I said it before. A mom refused to go to her daughter's graduation because it fell on her birthday and it was her turn to turn up.
My. You couldn't turn up the day after or later on that evening? Okay. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide on into the next topic.
Thank you.
Oh, no. Okay, y'all. I got a question for y'all. I saw this on the internet. You have a choice. You can take a red pill and restart your life at the age of 6 with all the knowledge that you know now. Or you can take the blue pill and have $10 million in cash. I want to know, red pill or blue pill? Say that fast. Red pill or blue pill? Kings and queens down in the chat. All right, Sierra. You popping that red pill or you gonna pop that blue pill? What you doing?
I'm popping the red pill. I want my youth back. So I can make better decisions. I want my youth back. Give it to me. I'll make some better decisions. I would have it was just nasty. Just husband.
Every episode, he just gonna be nasty.
It's bad.
Go ahead, see. Go ahead.
But I would pick the red because you can, if you the knowledge you have now, if by 10 I would have a whole 10 million. How about that? By 10 years old, I have 10 million. So okay. Yeah, I would that's what I would do. What about you, Nikki? Red or blue?
Well, our fam says red. She gonna take that knowledge and she gonna quantum leap it. Mm-hmm. I can't do middle school and high school again. Blue pill. Will said I'm not even. Elwood says he gonna hit that blue pill too. He gonna go and take that 10. Yeah, don't encourage him. So, yo, it was a toss up because if I do, I'm gonna change the course of my life, and would I be this Nikki? But there have been times. I literally ask this question on every podcast that I host solo. If you could change, or you could go back and talk to you when you were this age, what would you say? What would you do? But when this question got posed, and I was like, I want to talk about this, I thought about it. I was like, I don't know if I want to relive some of that stuff. Because even with the knowledge that I know, I still couldn't change some of the things that happened to me. They weren't in
Right.
my control, right?
Right.
That $10 million, it sounds real good. And I'm gonna tell you something. If I pop that blue pill, I ain't telling nobody, but I'm gonna go get me some financial advisors and some good lawyers, and I'm gonna have all that squirt. I ain't telling nobody jack.
Nobody. Nobody.
But let's for a second think though. See, if you could with what you know right now, what would be the one age? Like what age would you be that you would talk to yourself the most with the knowledge that you have now?
Ooh.
Okay,
I
why
think
you think oh, go ahead.
I think my 8-year-old self. Because I think that's what I remember the farthest back. And I was
Mhm.
so timid and so afraid of the world. Because I was bullied. So at 8 years old, I think I would tell myself a lot of things. I would be
Yeah.
way more confident. I would use my voice more. I
Yeah.
would stand up for myself more. I would
Mm.
have, um, oh yeah, I probably would have, yeah, I probably would the WBA. Yeah, I would have done a lot of things differently. Yeah, I would,
For
yeah, I would.
sure.
Switch scores. Yeah, yeah, I would have kept all that stuff up. I would have went for more things. I would have tried more things because I was scared. I was timid,
Yeah.
very timid. I probably would
Yeah.
not be a therapist. I probably wouldn't be. I, I probably would have turned out to be a psychologist or psychiatrist instead.
Mm.
Yeah, I probably would have went for a doctorate. Yeah, I probably would have shoot
Mm.
scored for that
Yeah.
and had the WNBA degree. Yeah, I would have done that too. Yeah, yeah, I would
All
have.
right,
Yeah,
doc.
yeah, yeah, I would have.
Um, I probably would say 16 when I was pregnant, but I got so many ages I want to talk to myself. Child, I would probably say 16 when I was pregnant. Mm-hmm. Um, I like you was there was so many dreams I had. Like I really wanted to be a lawyer. I really
Mm,
did.
you'd have
Get
been
a
good.
career.
You would have
Oh
been
my.
good.
Ooh.
You would have been real
I
good.
can see those traits in what I do now. You understand
Yeah,
what I'm saying? But
yeah,
yeah, child, be a lawyer. But being afraid of the world, being afraid of experiences, because like when you don't have them growing up, you wonder, can you handle them if you get out there and do them on your own, right?
right,
And if other people in your life are afraid of certain things for you because of their
right,
own, they're gonna be sure to tell you about them, and now they become your fears. So yeah,
right.
that would be a whole lot that I would do for sure. Um, all right, let's hit these comments. So Rochelle says she gonna hit that red. She hated her young life, too traumatic to talk about, and Pandora's box should never be opened again. We hear you, Queen. But you're restarting life now at 6, so it will be 2023, right? But you're 6. What?
Huh?
He said he meant 2024. So basically, he said, but you're restarting your life at 6, so it will be 2024. No, you're restarting your life whatever year you were 6 years old. You're
Right.
starting from then until now. And Rochelle said, I meant the blue pill. Edward said he would talk to his current self. Come on, Edward. He said, I'm not even going back that far. It's right now today. It's today. And he would go back at 18 when he could actually start making life choices. I would forget if I was too young with my crazy imagination. That was a good question.
It was a very good
Now,
question.
last question on this one, y'all. Y'all ain't see me itch. What would you do with that 10 mil though? What would you do? At least one thing you would do with it. At least one.
I would buy land. I would buy a lot of land. Yeah, and then build my house on it too.
Mm-hmm.
And some type of factory, some type of big factory. I don't know what,
Come
but
on, fact.
yeah, I would build some type of factory, a multiplex factory. Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
let's swag on to the next one. You wanted to talk to us about
Ooh, ooh. Okay, with the new year in, and everybody trying to get their fit back on and get healthy and go to the gym. I ran across this guy who I follow named uh, Crucified Flesh. And he's a Christian bodybuilder. But he posed this question about, not posed a question, but he was talking about how as Christians you feel like you have to wear like modest clothes. You can't wear the regular athletic clothing because it exposes a lot of different things. And for him, he didn't see anything wrong with wearing the clothes for the fit. I mean, it is what it is. But he also said it's something about it being more, what's the word he used? I don't want to say the wrong word. Make sure I say the right word. He said it's religion. It's more legalism. That's what he said. It's more legalism. It's more religion based of reasons why we feel like we have to cover up. And so he's like, people are going to see him regardless. And I agree with him. I would agree with what he was saying. I have a big butt and I have size for days. I would literally have to wear a sheet. And even a sheet gets a little
You can't wear. No, I'm sorry.
Maybe.
You cannot wear a sheet. It's gonna still
a
show.
sheet can do some things.
It's gonna still
a comforter.
show.
Let me say a comforter. I would have to wear a comforter.
And it's gonna still show.
I'm gonna have to wear a comforter to not show my curves and butt and all that stuff. So it's up to you. Have to wear darkness. You would what?
You would have to wear darkness. Cause it's gonna still show in that comforter. I'm sorry. You gotta
darkness. You said I have to wear darkness. Is that what you said? She said darkness. But you know, my mom and my aunts raised me well, where they taught me how to dress appropriate for my body type. For me, that's respectful for me. Everybody else have their own little thing. You want to tell your stuff out, you want to do what you want to do, that's up to you. But for me, I had to learn how to dress according. And hell no, you're not covering that thing.
But for real though, William, she'd have to wear darkness because I was she talking on a
It's so odd.
Go ahead.
But I agree with him. We all have to work on our own temptations and our own sin. And you go to the gym, you go to the gym. I mean, put on your clothes and go work out. I've actually become more, what's the word I'm looking for? Less modest with my sportswear. I'm not saying I have stuff all out, but I wear the tights now. You know, just, hey, it is what it is. Put on a t-shirt. If I feel confident in it, then it's my business. But if I don't feel confident in it, I might cover it up a little bit. But at this point, you're at the gym to work out. Don't die trying to cover up everything because you scared somebody someone gonna look at you and you scared because somebody gonna sin because they looking at you. That's that person's problem. Wear your clothes and go work out. That's my opinion. What you thought? What you say? What say you, Nikki?
What say the QT fam? Ain't nobody chiming in but William with his throat off self. We love you though, William. What are your thoughts? So I actually had this conversation with someone. I wanted to know a man's opinion. Anytime this conversation comes up, anytime it comes up, it is always put on the woman not to be tempting the man, or is she gonna fall? I'm like, when does the man take responsibility for his eyeballs? And if he's struggling in his own self-discipline. Now, the example that he gave was, sometimes some things show, print out lines. And if they're bending or squatting or whatever, you can see print out lines. So I was like, okay. But if she had on something like a comforter, you're going to now imagine what it's like because you can't see.
Hello?
So many men be like, that's okay. I like when a woman don't show everything. I can imagine. So you got some that like it when you show everything and some that's going to imagine what they're going to imagine. Now I said, if she were to cut out like there was no material right at the, the little love nest area, and she bending over, then she's purposefully doing it so you can see. But if she got on workout clothes and she in there squatting, handling her business and ain't thinking twice about you, but you over there lusting out your heart, when does the responsibility be for you to do this? Watch me close my eye or turn my head. But because you're watching and now you're fantasizing, that now becomes her not being a righteous Christian. She not no good woman. It's her fault. I don't understand the mentality of that, because I'm going to tell you, like, your back is hard to hide. So is my front, my top. And I can put on the best, most binding bra ever. They're still big. I can have on a turtleneck. I can have on no sleeves. They're still big. So if you're looking and you're lusting, if I'm not naked in front of you where I'm trying to show you, how does that become my fault because you're struggling right now? And I'm in a gym. It's hot. Gyms are hot and steamy, and they don't always smell too good because, it's a lot of stuff going on in there. So I got to be in there with a hoodie on and the thickest of the thick, even though you still going to see. And then with that being said, so there's certain exercises I can't do because guess what? When I go stretch on the stretch machine, I got to bend. You understand what I'm saying? When I'm on the weight pull down machine, I mean, it's no matter what. If you're going to be tempted, is it my responsibility or is that yours? Okay, let's hit some of these comments real quick.
It's a lot. You got a lot.
Yeah, I know you got something you want to say too. Want to hit that one?
Maybe one day us men can stop being so creepy. Just let the girls be comfortable.
I ain't saying, ladies, we're gonna go in there naked, but
the most oppressed people are in the church. Please know the truth and set yourself free. Wear what thus saith yourself, queens.
Not play on words though. He ain't getting none. That's none of the woman's fault. None of the women's fault. I say cover up to what you feel you are comfortable in. You can wear a comforter, and some men will still look like they have X-ray vision. Hello, first of all, how you doing, Sully? Good to see you, love. Rochelle and Sully, whatever you were about to say, it didn't pop up, but I see you try to say something. Rochelle, girl, you didn't say the whole thing. Wait, why is it?
That's what I want to talk about.
Why is it one-sided? Sometimes I don't like the gaze of these heathen females. That is so true. And because that, but this is what came up. Hold on. This is what came up when I asked the question to the gentleman. It immediately went to the women. And I just sat there and I listened and I said, why is it when this conversation comes up in the company of men, it is always a woman what she got on and the tempted. He did mention how men be wearing print laden stuff too.
Hello.
It still went back to the women. Go ahead, see.
I was gonna say exactly what he said. Like there's some nice looking men and they can catch your eye. You got your little wife beater on and you got your chest out. The guy on the crucified flesh got his chest out. I mean, you be like, well, come on, sir. Like women got eyes too. Like we would be lusting after me. Anywho,
that is so true. But I don't know why in these conversations it always turns to us and we're tempting men.
Be some grown-ups.
Okay. I don't.
Girl, fix your eyes on what you're supposed to fix your eyes on. If it's tempting for you to go to the gym and look at and see a woman pass by and you can't take your eyes off, you need to go in front of the face of the Lord and figure that out because that's a problem. So saying you're supposed to be able to bounce back. Huh?
I was in the gym a little while ago. It wasn't too long ago. Brother had been in there working out for a while before I got there. He was sweating. And, the sweat, it do a little revelation. It show a little revealing. It show a little printation. Now, I could sit there and miss my whole workout because now I'm focused on him and the printation. Or I can turn my head and go work out. But do I blame him because my gaze is here? No, Nikki, you go and you work out. That's all I'm saying. The brother was, okay.
He was kidding.
I
He was
agree.
kidding.
And it coming from both parties. Well, you know,
Just saying. Just saying.
I got to hold me accountable. I can't look. I can't hold them accountable. I got to hold me accountable.
Period.
Um. Well, hold on 1 second. Why is my screen freezing? All right, here we go. Yeah, not a revelation. The flesh.
Baby, somebody make you trip, you be like, oh God. And I blessed you. Like, yes,
And
God.
then he had the nerve to speak to me.
Oh,
Because I decided I'm going to focus on my work and I'm not doing that. He going to come right by me and make sure he spoke. Okay.
how you doing, sir? Have a nice day, please.
I just
Have a nice day.
started. Girl, concentrate. Just concentrate.
Then you say, look, not today. You're not gonna give me today. You're not gonna give me today. Keep it moving.
Your revelation. Walk on with your revelation. Okay, so I have this question for you guys. This question was actually posed in a group that I'm in, and it is: should a husband defend his wife against his family when his family is talking bad about her and or don't like her? Sarah, I can't wait to hear you chime in on this one. But we want to hear from the QT fam because I know y'all about to light these mints up. So, should a husband defend his wife against his family when they are talking bad about her, mistreating her, don't like her? QT fam, what are your thoughts, Sierra, as she fixes her hair before she addresses it?
First of all, let me say this. The husband has to know. Oh, wait, we got a long one. Read that one first before I go.
Yeah, this is from my brother talking about he promised he ain't gonna comment. Yeah, okay. He says, but men of vision. Oh my God, that's the first thing the person I had the conversation with said. Well, men see with their eyes. We visual creatures. The Most High made men that way. He said the same thing too. And Esther in the Bible, the king told her to ask whatever she will, because he would give her part of his kingdom. So, are you talking about a real man or a man with a penis and women who is wait a minute. Hold on, because it keeps moving as people putting comments in. But it does start with a woman. Sorry. A woman outward adornment shouldn't outshine her inward. Men are visionary and women's beauty. Okay, brother. I love you. I love you. Okay. But let me say this. The gym I go to, I've seen women that are about this big, no curves. They have on the tightest workout outfit because that's pretty much the type of clothes you're going to wear when you're working out. And I've seen men sitting there working out and that woman walk by. I've seen women that are curvaceous. I'm talking about bodies will banging and men stop what they're doing and do the same thing. And I've seen women that are in there working to get their weight down because they got, we got a little fluff on us and they still did the same thing. My question, and not all of them were dressed provocatively. One woman had on very baggy stuff, but this man, I just noticed he looks at everything that walks by if it's female. Is that the woman's fault because she chooses to adorn herself in a form-fitting workout outfit? One chose to adorn herself in probably her boyfriend's baggy top and baggy bottom, and the other one just had on kind of regular wear. Are this women's fault because that's how they chose to adorn themselves? They weren't naked. They didn't have parts and pieces, revealing parts and cutting out. So is that the man's responsibility? I get it. God made y'all to adorn a woman's body, but we can't take off our body parts just so you don't fall. We cannot remove, they're not Velcro. We can't remove our breasts and our curves
Fix your
just
heart.
because y'all like to see. And if he gave you that, if that's the way he made you, according to your words, he made you to adorn, to enjoy the beauty of her body. When does your responsibility kick in for how you respond, how long you lust, if you lust, and the thoughts that go through your head. Okay, I'm gonna get off that because that's a hot topic for me. But thank you for your comment, bro. But I wanted to readdress you because you addressed me. And if I know you gonna call me about it later. Love you. Alrighty. Let me come back to research something real quick. Okay. You wanna hit this one?
Yes, 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 and yes again. They are one and belong to each other. They need to be respected.
Alright. Yes, I messed this up bad in the beginning of the marriage. I'm getting better, but got a lot more work to do. I love that. So we back on this question. Should a husband defend his wife against his family? Go ahead, Sierra, give us your thoughts.
So, first of all, what I was going to say is the comments or the statements made, a man or husband needs to know if that's going to hurt his wife's feelings. And if it is, you need to speak up or you need
Okay,
to
so
be.
you on what they say. If it's not gonna hurt her, don't say nothing.
If it's like it's like a joke, we all know it's a joke. But if it's something that you know that is poking at her, poking fun at her, or belittling her, um,
Mm-hmm.
correct what needs to be corrected. Set up for your
Okay.
wife. And you did say husband, so I can say this right.
Yeah.
Husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So speak up for your wife, because it shows that you are her protector. You are her protector against anybody. When y'all come together, you're protecting her from anybody. That includes your family. So should a husband defend his wife against his family? Yes. Now, if his wife is wrong, really, really wrong, they have to come to some type of agreement of conversation that doesn't lead down this tunnel of bashing my wife. Because I notice that happens too amongst family members when you know that your wife has or the other spouse has done wrong, and then the family pokes fun at it, and then they go down this tunnel home. Well, back when you was dating her, and it's just like this whole mess that becomes of just one incident. And so that too has to be cut off as well. Like, all right, enough guys, enough guys. I hear you, I hear you. That's my wife. Remember that, and keep it pushing. But yeah, that most definitely it's a form of protection. I feel, and making your wife feel seen, secure, and safe in your marriage, for sure.
I love that. I don't think nobody should ever be that comfortable with talking about your wife in front of you like that,
Mm-hmm.
or around you, or to you like that. So I got a scenario for y'all. I got a scenario for y'all. So let's just say that the family members have a justifiable reason for not liking your wife or your husband or whatever. Because maybe they cheated on you, maybe they physically hurt you, whatever. You chose to forgive them and stay in the relationship. Your family chose to keep being real ticked off at them and are angry with you because you're not choosing to be angry and mad and to leave them. How do you handle that situation? Because you know how some people get mad when when your family get mad at you because you still with Sierra and you know Sierra did you wrong. But William like, but I love her and we gonna work this thing out. But the family stay mad. So every time they look up, they talking mess about Sierra. They trying to get him to leave. Like, so what do y'all think about those situations?
I was gonna say, depending on the dynamics of the family, I feel like a conversation needs to be had with the family or the
Mm-hmm.
elders of the family to explain the situation and
Mm-hmm.
what the steps, the accountability to a successful marriage. So whatever it was that made them go apart and they come back together, um, going to the elders of the family, or if you have a very intimate family, going to the horse of family and saying, "Hey, this is what happened," or and I hate to say this, but if there was like infidelity involved, I also feel that the person who did the infidelity should go in towards should go to the family and apologize, and have a almost like a come to Jesus meeting, to understand like how important the relationship is to you all. I feel like if the
Mhm.
family understands how important your union is, no matter what happens, they respect it. And by
Mhm.
respecting it, that means that you have to cover me, not just make fun of me or disown me because you don't agree with you don't agree with what's going on. Now, this is
Mhm.
me saying this is not like something that's unsafe. That's something
Right.
that is abusive relationship. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that, but I am saying if you choose to go back together and the family dynamic is they're either hackling you or they are mean to you because of what has happened in the past, it needs to be a come to Jesus meeting, with the family, and it need to be headed by the spouse, the husband, in regards to fixing the situation, because you want your
Yeah.
family to be there in support of your marriage, not in defense. Now, after that conversation, they still bad mouthing and nagging. That's called separation time, isolation time. You won't see me for a good 6, 7 months or 8 months, depending on your behavior. Because
Mhm.
we already discussed it, so we're trying to work on it. So help us in this working on. If you're not going to help me in this season and just cackle me, I don't need to be around you. It's not helpful.
You know what's crazy in situations like that where that decision has to be made separation, then it becomes the spouse that they mad at, it becomes their fault. But he don't
Right.
come around no more because of her. But
Right.
you now look at how you treat her, because here's the
Right.
thing. That man got to go home and deal with his wife because of
Right.
how you acted when she
Right.
was there. And
Right.
then they got to deal with, I don't want to go around your family because every time I go around them, they disrespect me. So
Right.
then he told, do I stay with you or do I go spend time with them? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's a crazy scenario, and this is outside of something that's detrimental and dangerous. We ain't talking about that because I can understand nobody wanting to be around somebody abusing their child, their sister, their brother. I get that, but outside of that, you just don't like her because um he chose her over your best friend, or you know what I'm saying. You knew her back when y'all was in school and she wasn't no
Right.
good. Just something really, really petty that if the decision was made to go and I do it, why are you in such arms about it? You know what I'm saying?
And then also, if you, and I find this happening too, if your spouse doesn't feel comfortable around your family, then you go around your family and show up for your family as needed for events or for whatever it is, because that is your family. If something happens to her, that's still your family. I do feel that that's appropriate to a certain degree, because you still want to show up for them if they need you,
Mm-hmm.
but not negate them and neglect them. And I find that happening a lot, um, in marriages and in family, where it's just like, I ain't dealing with them no more. You cut your whole family off and you don't have any contact with your family. And that's not good, because when you have kids, or if something happens, you don't have your family to back you up. You know what I mean?
I got
So,
one for you. I got one for you. Now
but
you
if it's
got a
unhealthy,
situation where the family talk about the wife all the time and the husband back and forth. He always like, y'all got to cut this out. But something happened in his family where his wife got to be in agreement to help let somebody move in with them or take over the care of the very people that didn't like her. What type of situation do you now put her in? Y'all done gave her hell for the last 10 years, and now y'all need money, or somebody need a place to stay, or somebody need to go take over the care of something. How do you handle that situation?
case
You see
by
what I'm saying?
case, it's a sticky one, and you have to be able to decide if you're going to do it or not. If the family is, if you can give grace, and that's a very, very hard thing to do. We're humans. Only God gives us ultimate grace, but we can try. You know, that requires a lot of spiritual maturity. A
That's
lot,
a crazy situation because you know you you know family can go hard on somebody. They
honey,
do a silent treatment inside out like nobody's business when somebody come
honey,
over.
honey.
Um, isolate you, talk to everybody in the room but you. That's some crazy mess. Yes, brother, thank you. He said so. That's a man leading and living with his penis. A godly man don't lust for his sister. You didn't read what I said. I read what you said, brother. I love you. I read what you said, sir. But thank you for that. Rochelle says, Genesis 2 and 24, therefore shall a man leave his wife and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. If a husband has a wife, the question is, what kind of family does he have? He shouldn't bring her into a toxic environment or surroundings. So the family's out of order. He should know his family and their BS. Ha! Listen, don't be bringing in all that. So let me ask this question. We're going to get to the rest of your comments in just a second. Sierra, answer this question. I want to hear from y'all too down in the comments. If you fell in love with somebody, but their family is toxic and dysfunctional, they put the funk and dysfunctional, would you still marry them? They're not like the family. They're like the black sheep, the oddball. How is this even your people? Y'all so different. But they are toxic and dysfunctional. Would you still marry them?
Yes. That's all I'm going to say.
The comments, or you want to answer?
All I said was yes. So all I'm going to say is I would, because if he is the oddball, the black sheep of the family, and he does not have the traits of toxicity. And I also want to say this, because the black sheep or the whatever who might not have it, but they might see the habits of their family and try to pass it down to the kids of how they raise the children. Ooh. And so that's where you have to ask questions ahead of time. Like, so I got a scenario for you. What if we have kids and you ask these questions? You got to dating phases to ask all million questions you want to ask, because it helps you really understand their mindset. Because granted, they choose not to be toxic in their own lives, but you never know what that toxicity could have done to how they will raise your children. And that is super important, I believe, because unless you went to therapy for it, it just follows you without you knowing it.
Here's something to add to that. Even if it doesn't with him, do you ever let the family babysit then? Can you understand what I'm saying? He might be totally amazing, not a trait, but the family like, when we gonna get the babysit John? Why you don't let the baby come over here? When you let the baby spend a night? It's a lot of stuff to think about when you about to get married. It's a lot. What
I say is no.
We'll come over and visit. I say this to my husband: if any of them have anything negative to say to me, it's your fault. When you tell them your marital problems, I learned this the hard way. If it hurts my feelings, it should hurt his. Oh, and Keisha said, so true. It needs to be handled. We all adults. That part. I'm gonna be honest. If bullets are coming, if somebody is trying to attack me on the street, if somebody got a bat about to swing at me, and my husband ain't moved a block to protect me, it's the same as when the words coming. Nobody should be that comfortable with talking bad about me to you, or talking bad about in front of you. That should be to me the whole. Wait a minute, stop that. No, stop that. It's my wife. You're not gonna do it like that. But those are my thoughts. Mary Margaret Turner Gibson said, "Ooh, good talk. Thank you for joining us, Queen." God saying we'll have to ordain his marriage if he is coming from a toxic family. Girl, child. I had another scenario to throw in there, but we're gonna move on.
You might as well, because this is juicy.
It's very juicy. It's so juicy. Okay. This is a little bit off, but on it. Okay, so you have a toxic relationship with the baby mama. You married this man. She's from a previous relationship, but it's just been toxic from the jump. Because she don't like the fact that he done went and got with you and got married.
Right.
It's very, very toxic. But something happens where the decision needs to be made for that child to come and stay with you. Why your eyes get dirty? And for that child to come and stay with you, it's gonna have to be constant communication between you and his baby mama. Thoughts? I want to hear from y'all down in the comments. Thoughts? Thank you. Same to you, James. Thank you.
Have a
Same to
good night,
you.
James. It's called Boundaries and Limits. I would have to set up a whole contract. I ain't even gonna lie. People be
She
crazy.
said you want they have a nanny. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Whole contract. We have to sign, and this is contract. I am not playing. No
Okay, so contract gonna include what? Leave your nasty attitude? Like, what you gonna put in this contract?
rules that we gonna stick to with raising the kid. Like what we gonna do, what we not gonna do. Like period. No ma'am. People be people in. No, no ma'am. Oh Lord.
Girl, 35 years of marriage, I've seen it all. Toxic family. Come on, 35 years of marriage.
Whoop whoop.
A lot of
Mary's
prayers and
like
patience.
Mary's like my second mom, my other mom.
Is she?
Yes, she is. She's so sweet. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, yes. She said she done seen it all, baby.
It has. It has. God bless it.
Child.
God bless it. God bless it. That's all I'm gonna say. Wait, you didn't even answer the question. What you gonna do?
On which part? About
Last one that
the
you
toxic baby
presented.
mama?
Yes. Uh-oh.
Okay, so I've actually kind of been in that when I was married.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's not no easy thing. He actually had twin sons.
Oh wow.
Uh-huh. And girl, let me tell you how messy those situations can get. Just to get back at you, they might not even want the man no more, but just to get back at you, when it's time for him to go pick up the kids or something like that, they'll try something or call you to make you think something happened just to throw in. It could get messy. It could get
Very.
messy. You understand what I'm saying? And there is no co-parenting. There's no three-way parenting. It's you trying to parent the child as best as you know how to parent. They over there letting the children do whatever. They got the kids coming back saying stuff on purpose. You know, people teach their kids to say, "Girl, okay, we gonna move on.
Team too much.
We gonna move on."
Team too
I
much.
is go ahead. You want to talk to us about this?
So back to husbands and wives, we at the restaurant, and this could be a boyfriend girlfriend situation if you're dating. I saw this post on Instagram, and this boyfriend and girlfriend were out at dinner, and the waiter brings the check, and he it looks like he comes up short, and she's watching him the whole time, watching her boyfriend, and she just slides him the rest of the money that's required without saying a word, and he pays the bill, and everything goes on as well. And so I just thought I should pose this question: is I know I'm trying to think when I was dating, but anywho, when you're dating versus when you're married, separate the two. Do you help your man pay the restaurant bill if he comes up short? Nikki, do you?
I don't know if I'm gonna separate the two answers, cause
Okay.
okay, I'm gonna separate them because you asked us to. My husband, absolutely, absolutely, girl. Our money is our money, right?
Right.
Um, if a guy asks me out on a date, because the assumption is the person that asks you is the one that's gonna be paying.
Right.
But I've learned never to go on a date without my own money. I learned that now. Never go
Period.
on a date without my own money, especially in the beginning. Especially in the beginning. Um, I would not embarrass him. I love the fact that she did it very discreetly. Nobody had to know anything. So I wouldn't emasculate him or anything like that. I wouldn't make him feel less than a king or nothing like that. Um, Even if a brother tried to play me, because you got some people. There was this guy last year that they got to the point where they put him on the news. He was going into all these different dating websites and dating groups on social media, meeting these women, and he would beat them to the restaurant and start having drinks and appetizers. And by the time they got there, because he invited them on a date, by the time they got there, they would order food. Brother would get up to go to the bathroom. Exactly. And would leave women with high bills because he be ordering stuff. Like he getting all the oysters, he getting all the drinks, he getting
Oh
all the
my
stuff,
God.
right. And so he got so bad, like literally people reporting him. He was on the news. So you got people
Really?
that try to play you in that situation. I'm gonna be real with you. If I know you tried to play me and you had no intention of paying, I know how to go to the bathroom too. But on my way out, I'm gonna ask them, can you itemize the check for me? And I'm gonna pay for my food and I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna cause no scene or nothing. But you ain't gonna see and hear from me no more. I'm good. I'm real good. But
Gee.
your honest good man that got good motives towards you and all of that, absolutely. I don't have a problem with that. Mm-mm. I don't have a problem with that at all. What about you?
When I was dating, when I was dating, I would say I wasn't
Tell
as
us.
nice as I am. I wasn't nice as I am now, but I would
So
always pay
what
for
you
my
do?
meal. I would
What
always pay for my meal, regardless. That was just me because I didn't want to get stuck with that situation. But if I did get stuck with that situation, I would have slid him the money. Like, how much more you need? I got you. I would have gave it to him. Married, of course. Our money is our money. My money is our money. Your money is our money. It is what it is. But
do?
yeah, the embarrassment I think women get when they start getting on at the table, the entitlement is real. Um, we all work now. It's one of those things where back in the day I can see you having some little, but now we all have jobs. Men and women have jobs. And yes, you want to be catered to. Yes, you want to be taken out. I get it. I understand it. But at the same time, life be life sometimes. And hopefully he's an honest guy. Now, if he's a dishonest guy, that's a whole other conversation. But if he's an honest guy and he just comes up short, you know, if you're able to help, help. Um,
Hmm.
he might be like, you know what, you're my wife. I mean, you're my wife because you can help. You're my helpmate. Come on, prep. It's prep work. But I do understand you want to feel like you're being catered when you got on a date, especially in the beginning of the relationship. I would hate for this to happen in the beginning of dating. That would suck. That wouldn't look good on the guy. It just wouldn't.
I
But
would love for it to happen in the beginning because if he's that type that would try to play you like that, you need to know that at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Don't get your
true,
heart out
true.
wrapped. But somebody that he got $100 because restaurant he think he taking you to, your bill may come up to 60. He want to leave a nice tip, maybe have something for gas, but y'all get 130 or $20 worth of food.
Right,
And y'all have had a good dating, relationship to this point. Why not kick in 2030? But there was a trend that started last year with women putting men on blast on social media, like literally recording them secretly and not about, them going to exuberant, like expensive, restaurants. And these men either not having enough money or not wanting to just be basically not want to have no high behind bill. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And these women going off because they felt like, no, you asked me out and this is where I want to go and I want you to buy everything that I want. There was even
right.
one woman invited her family. He didn't even know the family was coming and expected her to pay for him, her, and I want to say it was eight of them. It was eight.
That's disrespectful.
Yes. And it would not act like Luby's with a buffet. I mean, not Luby's, Golden Crowd with the buffet. You know what I'm saying? We talking about a restaurant.
Restaurant,
And
restaurant.
yeah. and he expecting her to walk in. She's walking in, and she got family with her, and all of them were expecting him to pay. Yeah, that's anyway.
And how do
Child.
you feel about on this note? How do you feel about um I think this is another Instagram somewhere that I have,
Hmm.
but it's
Hmm.
similar to this where it's a birthday. Say it's your birthday. You have 80 of your friends. They come with you, and your spouse, boyfriend comes. They expect this boyfriend and spouse to pay for everybody's dinner at the table for
Hmm.
her birthday.
Hmm.
Is that normal?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yes, Rochelle, I saw that one before. I wasn't talking about that one, but I've seen that one before. Um, I think that and y'all ain't had that conversation ahead of time. I think that's jacked up. I think that is really, really jacked up. That I expect for you because you're taking me out on my birthday or it's a dinner party. Now, if you are planning this party and you're inviting all of these people, a conversation needs to be for sure be had.
Like in the text, you are required to pay for your meal. I'm not paying for your meal. I'm
I
paying
just
for the cake to come to the table.
yeah,
That's it. And some shots.
but
That's it.
but you invited 10 people and I get mad because you're not paying for me, you, and all 10 of my people.
That's the
Now,
uh-uh.
here's what would be jacked up is if you throw me a party
Right.
and you're expecting people to pay to get into the party or something like
Oh,
that. You're doing
oh,
this event. That's different.
oh.
But at a restaurant, that's but people be doing some whack stuff and will put you on blast on social media too. I remember that she was mad he wouldn't pay for her friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, saw that one. It was a sketch. No, I'm talking about one
No,
that was
these
real.
are real ones.
I'm talking about yeah,
Yeah.
like these they being recorded secretly, and by the time they realize it's a camera, they always cut it off.
Right.
I know what my thought, Rochelle. The husband got their girls together and they told him he should pay. I saw that one too. I love that man though that you had us talking about a couple of weeks ago. He was like, "No, I'm paying for her because it's her birthday. I'm not paying for all y'all." And they were like, "But you the man at the table." He was like, "And your point is what?"
And your point is what? Oh, and it was her friend. He was he was the friend of the girl, and they were like, "Well, you get no, she's my friend. I'm paying for her birthday. That's all, y'all. No, y'all crazy. No
Uh,
entitlement.
but
Nah.
that I'm gonna say we live in this. Who we? Alrighty. So we're gonna slide off of that. I have a one to grow on that I want to read to y'all as we get ready to head out. So see, get your what you saying no to, what you saying yes to ready. Here's the one to grow on for y'all. So um it says when you try to punish your spouse by withholding their needs from them over long periods of time, such as praise, communication, sex, etc., what you're really punishing is your marriage. And when your marriage loses, you lose. I wanted to
Mm.
leave that as our one to grow on for today because I don't know why this new wave of teaching that's been hit social media and that actually trends where we're so entitled that we feel like I'm going to punish you by withholding these things. These are the very things that can tear down your marriage. The very things that can tear down your marriage. Stop letting other people tell you how to have your marriage. Stop letting social media tell you how to have your marriage, and stop withholding affection and communication and sex and love and all of that when y'all are going through something. Talk it over. Talk it over
Mm.
because we got way too many people getting divorces over things that a conversation can't be had about.
Get off.
This is for those that are in abusive relationships. This is not pertaining to you. Um, and if you've been cheated on multiple times, and you know the Lord telling you whatever it is, this is not for you. But please don't do that. Don't add to the tearing down of your marriage, right? Because for whatever reason, people will even post that on social media, and that goes viral with a whole lot of people in the comments cheering that type of stuff on. So don't do that. All righty, Sierra. What are you saying no to and what are you saying yes to?
I'm saying no to. I'm probably gonna say this word wrong.
QT fam, y'all chime in.
Saying no to complacency. Am I saying that right?
Ooh.
Complacency. Um,
Complacency.
and yes to striving um, for my future.
Ooh.
Um, striving for. It's hard for me to say because I'm living in it like right now. Um,
Mm.
it's very hard for me to say it because it's hard. Um, yeah, keep developing, keep changing, keep becoming, keep going. I think I'm just tired. So, no to complacency and just saying this is what it is and continue to strive for the change that I need to see in myself and my environment.
What is it that has been the hard that you've been struggling with? Is that the part that you don't want to say, or it's hard to say because you're trying to figure out how to vocalize it?
It's hard for me to vocalize it because multiple things. It's just, uh, yeah, it's just hard for me to verbalize it right now. So trying to
Okay.
work it through. What I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
QT fam, what are you saying no to, and what are you saying yes to? Well, thank you for sharing that part, Sierra.
Hmm.
Um, I'm saying no to being taken for granted, and I am saying yes to continuing to be okay with my boundaries. Yeah, yeah, and I'm also saying yes to it's okay to have boundaries where I did not have them before. It's okay that not everybody will be happy with them, and not everybody may even agree with them. And it's okay that everybody may not even continue to like me, because the reason that they like me may have been because of what I allowed without a boundary. And now that there's a boundary there, that access is not the same, the yeses are not the same. Um, and so I'm okay with that. Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna ask you a question because we talk about limits and boundaries a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, setting up for what is promised to us that we need to walk into.
You said
And if
setting up for what?
it's the setting up for us to walk into our promises that are already set
Mhm.
up for us.
Okay.
When we have those limits and those boundaries that we rediscover or that we have to discover, um,
Mm-hmm.
they allow us to see things differently, which allows us to be more exposed to the things out that God has for us, right? So that's why I said
Mm-hmm.
it that way because it's already there. We just got to get to it. God already said it so. Um, so my question to you is, how do you inform people or others about your new or re and reformed boundaries without coming off um, disrespectful or rude?
Well, let me first say I could give it with all the honey in the world. It may still be perceived as rude because it's not the answer people want to. For me, a lot of new boundaries, they never existed. They were never there. They were
Right.
never there. So when um, hey pumpkin, sorry y'all, my dog. When I realized the fence here, because there's no fence. I need a fence here. I need to stop allowing dogs to come and poop in my yard. I need a fence here. Somebody will catch that. That'll mean something to somebody. And I put this fence up. I had to be okay with it first. So now that I'm okay with them, and some of them I'm still working on, I don't need to make the announcement to everybody. Oh, okay, I got a fence up right here now. I don't need to do that. But when the time comes where I see you trying to have either the same access or you trying to treat me the same way or whatever it is. Depending on the situation is how I inform you. Sometimes it's just as simple as no, no, thank you. And that's it. Conversations gonna end up being had because people gonna want to know why you don't so no more. Why I can't do that? You used to let me do that. You know what I mean? Those conversations will come up. If I'm not trying to be rude, I'm not being rude. That don't mean you won't perceive it as because you don't like the answer that you're being given.
Right.
But you know you being funky nasty, then just you need to fix you when you're talking to people. But I just think that sometimes you can't help it because people don't like answers that they don't like. And if you've
Right.
never said no to them, you've never had a fence and a boundary up, that's going what you mean?
For sure.
However, the way I talk to people, there's gonna be a way that I tell you, Sarah, and I love you so much, and you still mean so much to me, but I won't be able to do so and so anymore.
Right.
Now, a lot of people gonna walk away immediately anyway. So,
Got you.
what about
Got
you?
got you.
I love the note to complacency, so I'll pick that up with a yes with furthering my future. I love that. See, thank you for sharing that. You just helped roll.
Amen. Amen.
I hope I answered your question, Sierra. Uh,
I feel
just
like
make sure. Go ahead.
sometimes when like you said, it depends on the person, it depends on the situation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when you have to some how well I'm trying not to butcher this word today. I did good so far. Um, boundaries. When you set some boundaries, um, some of them are kind of is for you and not for the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of those don't have to be said, they're just seen. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just make a change for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. But then with limits, some limits, same thing. Some limits
Mm-hmm.
are just going to be like something that you have internally said, okay, you got 3 times with this person. After the third time, Sierra, do what you got to do. Like, and
Yeah.
it's just like one of those
Yeah.
things. And so, or I've heard this one before, and it wasn't to me, but it was to someone else, and their friend said, "Jesus, it's so bad." She said, "I don't have the time to deal with your shenanigans right now. I don't have the space. But when you have
Mm-hmm.
decided to leave the situation, then we can have a conversation."
Mm-hmm.
And part of me was mad, but another part of me was like, "Wow,
Mm-hmm.
what?" You set up a limit and about you like, look, I ain't
Mm-hmm.
talking about this no more. But the
Mm-hmm.
interesting thing about this situation is that a year later, you're asking, so what happened? But why did you not do? Well, then you did. But then you tell me not to talk to you about it no more. Then you tell me nothing. I adhere
Mm-hmm.
to what you said. But now you want
Mm-hmm.
to be nosy. Okay, confusion. That's confusion to me. That's controlling and confusion, manipulation.
That's
Anywho, we off
no,
the subject.
or we can revisit that. But I
Yeah.
just do that's all. But how you been now? You doing good? That's Nick. I addressed it and I moved on. But you know what? I gotta say, I gotta honor the honesty that they gave you though. Even if you feel like what you would, it's the honesty for me.
It's
You
honestly for
know,
me.
I
That's exactly what I said. I was
it's
like, well, you know what? I
it's the
respect them. I
that part.
respect you.
Because
I
they're
respect.
honest. And here's the thing, and I think this is why I love older people. The older you get, you realize why am I playing with you? Let me just go and tell you the truth. And older people, they like, I ain't got time to be lying. I ain't got time to be placated. I don't want to do it. No, I don't want to go over there because I don't like her. I want to go over there. Her house be stanky. Like older people tell you straight up, they ain't got time for the pleasantries. Now I don't know if I'm gonna ever be that blunt, but hey,
Mm.
but yeah, it's the honesty for me. It's the honesty for me. And sometimes people set boundaries up with us. They set limits up with us, and it may not be because you're doing something wrong. They want to do
It's
something
just for
different.
them.
But sometimes it is you, and it's like,
Right.
ooh. Okay.
Right.
All right. And you got to deal with it too. So yeah, I just say be honest. Don't not set up a boundary because you're worried about hurting somebody's feelings. If you're doing it in love, love for you first and love for them, you can do it in love. Some people,
Right.
the boundaries just need to be cut. They need to be what it is. Cause
Child.
child.
And like you
Anyway.
said, I love that you said it has to be done in love. And I feel
Mhm,
like even when you know someone has set a boundary with you, if you're about to step over that boundary and they've already said it with you, you got to come to them with a sincere heart. And I think they would hear you versus I remember I told you, but this I really need to, or can you please, like I really need you to understand this because it's going to help me help our
mhm,
relationship. Can you please
mhm,
listen to this? I really feel
mhm,
like we're not sincere with how we feel about things, and we get in our feelings a little bit too much and get
mhm,
offended so fast that you forget that you still have ways of communicating effectively
yeah,
to carry out or ask the questions or whatever you need to make you feel more whole or to help understand something in a relationship. So don't forget that part of doing it in love, but be sincere. Like don't be
mhm,
a like her. She was like, but you gonna tell? I'm like, oh my God, didn't you just tell me a year ago? Well, not me, but did you tell her a year ago? You ain't
yeah.
want. But now
But you had
you
sense.
asking all these
Yeah.
questions, asking all these
Mhm.
questions. Get off my phone. Okay, anywho, let's end this up.
No,
Get off
no,
my phone.
but I tell you, I love that because I had to have that right at the end of last year. And it was a work environment situation that every time I went into it, I was getting so bitter with it. I would disconnect. We'd be in the meeting talking. I'm so disconnected. I'm looking dead at you. And I'm like, what am I going to cook tonight? I wonder what someone's just so disconnected. And it got to the point where I had to have a conversation with the team and be very honest with where I was and how I was feeling, how the decision that I was tinkering on. It was an uncomfortable conversation. The other person, I kept saying, don't take this. This is not personal. This is when you do this, this is what happens, and blah, blah, blah. We ended up working through it. Here's what I discovered: we don't like to have conversations because we consider it to be confrontations, and they're not. It's conversation and communication. Sarah, when you wear those glasses, man, it blurs me and I can't see. But because I don't want to tell you that, I'm fearing
Right.
your reaction, my reaction. And so I'm just gonna let it just fester. When I could just have a conversation with you, you might get offended, but we can still work through it. If we cannot, that's just our sign. It may be time to say, you know
Peace.
what I mean? But anyway, look, we're gonna finally go on in this show because it's getting good. We can keep on talking. It was an amazing episode. It was an amazing episode. Thank all of y'all for watching. Thank you for coming back this week and for praying for our girl while she was taking care of her business with her family on this
Thank you.
past week. Keep her lifted up in prayer. And Sarah,
Thank
you
you.
want to close out, baby?
Yeah. Don't let your crown hang. Don't let it sag. Don't flip it and kick it in the air like a quarter. Put that thing on your head where proudly stand up tall with your chest out. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. We thank y'all for joining us tonight. We'll see y'all next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And we love you, love you, love you. Bye.
Happy birthday, Marius. My youngest, his birthday is on Saturday. Love you, son. I
My
am
grandmother
PM.
turns 85 on Friday.
What happened?
My grandmother turns 85 on Friday.
Happy birthday, Grandma. What's her name? Shout her out.
Viv! I don't call her Viv. I call her Mama. Get your life. Mama. Happy 85th
Happy birthday,
birthday.
Mama. Happy birthday, Jimmy. You're so silly.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.